Imagine a world before central heating, where the flickering hearth was the heart of every Jewish home. How do they conquer the cold, especially on Shabbat, when fire lighting was forbidden? Uncover the ingenious, time-tested methods Jewish communities employed to stay warm, a story of resourcefulness and tradition. Jewish tradition have always fascinated me, especially how they blend utility and deep spiritual meaning. Take Shabbat, for example. It's not just a day of rest. It's a carefully planned pause from the modern rush where food, warmth, and even light are prepared in advance. Imagine the patience and thoughtfulness behind that. And then there is the ingenuity, like how Jewish homes use water jackets on stoves to keep water warm or left clay pots in the sun for natural heating. It makes me wonder, would we be more connected to our daily lives if we had to plan so carefully? Even beyond the practical side, Jewish traditions emphasize family, storytelling, and resilience. Whether it's gathering around the hearth on a cold night or sharing a warm bowl of coolant, these customs create a sense of belonging. You are excited, right? Wait, surely we'll go through the lives of Jewish people and you will be amazed. Ancient wisdom, how Jewish communities mastered the elements. Imagine living in a time without electricity, heating, or air conditioning. How do people survive the scorching summers and freezing winters? The answer lies in their deep understanding of nature. Ancient Jewish communities, like many other civilizations, learned to work with the elements rather than against them. They didn't just build homes, they designed them to be in perfect harmony with the sun, wind, and earth. If you're curious about how they did it, you might want to stick around. Maybe hit that subscribe button to join us on this journey of discovery. Harnessing the sun and fire. Ancient Jewish ingenuity. One of the most valuable resources ancient Jewish communities had was the sun. Unlike modern homes with artificial heating, their houses were carefully positioned to soak in sunlight. Ever notice how many traditional Middle Eastern homes have south-facing windows? That's not a coincidence. These windows capture sunlight during the day, warming the interior and keeping the night's chill away. But sunlight wasn't their only tool. Fire played a key role too. Large, clay or copper pots sat over the hearth, slowly heating water throughout the day. In wealthier homes, stone basins stored hot water for easy access. Mastering the elements without technology. What's fascinating is that ancient Jewish communities didn't have modern technology. Yet, they thrived in extreme conditions by adapting to nature. They designed homes to catch the sun, built courtyards to trap heat, used thick walls for cooling, and stored water wisely. Their ingenuity reminded us that sustainable living isn't just a modern trend, it's an age-old practice. So, the next time you step into an air-conditioned room or turn on a heater, think about how the ancient civilizations mastered comfort using nothing but nature. Amazing, right? Would you want to live in a home like that, or would you prefer modern conveniences? Either way, these ancient methods still inspire sustainable architecture today. And now, all your doubts will be cleared. Here comes the hearth. The hearth, the warm heart of ancient homes. Imagine a time before central heating, microwaves, or even electric stoves. How do people stay warm during freezing winters? How do they cook their meals? So many questions, right? The answer lies in one of the most important parts of any ancient Jewish home, the hearth. The hearth was the heart of the household, a space where warmth, nourishment, and togetherness thrived. In ancient Jewish homes, as well as in many cultures around the world, the hearth wasn't just about fire. It was about life itself. Made from stone or brick, these fireplaces were carefully designed to radiate heat efficiently, ensuring that the entire home stayed warm. Some homes had raised hearths to make cooking easier, while the others had sunken fire pits that allowed the heat to circulate better. But the hearth wasn't just for cooking and heating. It was also a gathering place. Families would sit around the fire sharing stories, preparing meals, and passing down traditions from one generation to the next. The glow of the fire created an inviting atmosphere where laughter and conversations flowed freely. It was the ultimate social hub of the home. Have you ever thought about how a single fire could heat both the home and its water? Enter the wood stove with a water jacket. A genius invention. Imagine a regular wood stove, but with a metal chamber, the water jacket wrapped around it. As the fire burns, it heats the water inside, which can then be used for washing, cooking, or even central heating. Some systems circulate hot water through pipes, warming entire homes. It's like having an old-school water heater powered by fire. Now, let's peek into a Jewish home and know more about their traditional facilities. A warm glow, the hearth, and Shabbat traditions. The warm glow of the fire illuminated the small stone house, where a family huddled close, the aroma of the freshly baked challah wafting through the air. It was almost sunset on Friday, and everyone was preparing for the Shabbat. For centuries, Jewish families have designed their homes around the hearth, not just for warmth, but also for the sacred rhythm of their lives. On Shabbat, the day of rest, fire could not be kindled, requiring foresight and a deep connection to tradition for heating and cooking. Miriam, a mother of four, hurried through her home, ensuring everything was ready before sundown. The hearth, the heart of their household, had been stoked for hours to burn through the night. But how did they keep warm without lighting a fire on Shabbat? Jewish law prohibits the lighting of a new flame on Shabbat, but existing fires could continue to burn. Families like Miriam's used well-built fireplaces with stone or brick walls that retained heat. Some homes had special clay or metal boxes filled with embers, known as a Shabbat heater, providing warmth without violating religious law. In colder regions, Jewish families employed creative methods to retain heat. Thick curtains were drawn over doorways, beds were layered with heavy woolen blankets, and children often slept close together for extra warmth. Preparing food before sundown. In the kitchen, Miriam's eldest daughter carefully places a heavy clay pot on the hearth filled with stew. This dish, called koland, was a staple of Jewish Shabbat meals. Because cooking was also forbidden on Shabbat, food had to be prepared in advance and left to slow cook over the embers of the fire. Koland was a brilliant solution. It could simmer for hours without needing to be stirred or attended to. Families would gather around the table on Saturday afternoon to enjoy its rich, hearty flavors, a meal that was both practical and deeply tied to tradition. Some families used metal plates or stone slabs near the fire to keep the challah warm until mealtime. Others wrapped food in layers of cloth to insulate it, ensuring it remained warm without needing to be reheated. The hearth as a gathering place. As the last rays of sunlight disappeared beyond the horizon, Miriam's family gathered around the hearth, the flames reflecting in their eyes. Her husband recited the Kiddush, blessing the wine, and her youngest son eagerly reached for a slice of challah. The hearth, which had been used to warm their home and cook their food, was now a space of togetherness, storytelling, and song. The fire crackled softly as Miriam's grandmother, wrapped in a wool shawl, began to share a tale from her childhood. She spoke of her own mother tending the fire in their home in Eastern Europe, carefully placing koland in the warmest pot before Shabbat began. Despite the bitter cold outside, the family always felt the warmth of tradition, faith, and each other. In colder climates, one hearth wasn't always enough. Sometimes homes had multiple hearths, each one strategically placed to spread warmth throughout the dwelling. In larger households, smaller fireplaces might be found in separate rooms, ensuring that no one had to suffer throughout the icy chill of the winter. For those living in harsher conditions, the design of the hearth was crucial. Chimneys and vents were crafted to allow smoke to escape without letting too much heat slip away. Some homes even had thermal mass walls, which absorbed heat from the fire and slowly released it over time, keeping the home warm even after the flames had died down. The hearth as a cooking center. Before ovens and stovetops, all cooking revolved around the hearth. Pots of stews, grains, and breads were placed over the flames, and families learned to control the fire's heat for different cooking methods. Some homes had built-in bread ovens, allowing them to break fresh loaves right next to the hearth. Meal times were a communal experience. Families and neighbors would gather, sharing freshly prepared food while exchanging stories. Special dishes often cooked during religious festivals, making the hearth a sacred space in many homes. It wasn't just about eating, it was about celebrating life together. The hearth was more than a functional space. It had deep symbolic meaning. It represented safety, warmth, and the continuity of family traditions. In some Jewish households, the hearth was seen as a place of blessing and hospitality where guests were welcomed with warmth and food. A tradition that lives on. Today, modern Jewish homes might have ovens and central heating, but the spirit of the ancient hearth remains. Many families still follow the tradition of preparing food before Shabbat, and the glow of candles has replaced the warmth of the fire. But the essence remains unchanged. The hearth was never just about warmth, it was about family, faith, and the unbreakable bonds that hold them together. Would you have enjoyed living in a time where fire was both a necessity and a sacred part of daily life? Even today, the lessons of patience, preparation, and the beauty of gathering around a warm place remains timeless. From the warmth of the hearth to the careful planning for Shabbat, ancient Jewish methods of heating show incredible resourcefulness. These time-tested practices not only provide comfort, but also brought families together. For which is your favorite one? Comment your thoughts and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.